There's a process that came out of MIT called Theory U. You can Google it. It's highly Googleable, and it's worthwhile Googling it. There's actually a book that's this thick called Theory U. But let me summarize it very, very succinctly. This is where we are today, and this is where we want to be. The reality is, when you get there, you're probably going to need to redo it. You're probably going to need to rethink it. And it comes back to that time wasted by not focusing. If there's one thing you take away from today's workshop is the time spent as a group focusing on who you are, who you serve, and how you help. It makes everything else easier downstream. And where Theory U comes in is, rather than jumping here to here, you dive into a deep, deep U. And we are right now on the left-hand side of that U. And they call it presencing. Just be present with all of the variables that influence these questions. There may be contradictory information in there. Hold it. Try not to resolve it. Just hold the tension. There may be surprises. It's okay. Just hold it. Try your best while you're doing the beginning of the planning process simply to gather input. I'm going to talk a lot more today about the fact that there is a very, very important person who's not in this room today, and that is the donor, him or herself. I'm going to talk about that a lot. But when doing Theory U, one of the things you want to do is you want to go out and talk to the end users. You want to talk to both your clients, those you serve, and you want to talk to your donors about their perception of who you are and how you help. You would be amazed at what you hear. And I'm going to talk about this a lot as we go on, because it's a very, very powerful tool. But again, it's called presencing. And the longer you can hold yourself from drawing conclusions, the more insight you'll get. Then when you get to the bottom, so when I do this for a client, it's typically about a 3-month process. So about midway through, at say 1.5 months, at that point, you focus what you've heard and what you've learned through your vision, your mission, and your values. We're not talking today about values, but they are central to the whole picture. If we can be clear about how the world will be different when we're successful, if we can be clear about what we do to get there and our values in doing it, and then hold this information together, as many voices as possible, as diverse as possible, especially if there's contradictory point of view. Get the contradictory point of view in the circle and share and listen to each other. What tends to happen is, I've seen it happen a dozen times. The group together goes, oh, I see what to do. Or you can have 1 or 2 or 3 scenarios to play out. You know, we could try this. We could try this. And again, you're not here yet. You're still planning. And so this becomes a prototyping phase where you're trying on ideas or building new ideas, and then you finally get here.